Congratulations, gentlemen, on your first week in the Gentlemen's Football Association. We had some pretty interesting matchups this past week where Parker Lutz, Noah Jones, Dylan Murphy, Noah Casali, and old Daddy Dan came out with wins. Just because those who came out with wins didn't mean we didn't have good performances. We had one hell of a battle between Dragon and Noah. And we also had some fantasy flops as well. So as it stands now, Parker Lutz is at the top of the East Division and Noah Casali stands at the top of the West, being 1-0 and scoring the highest points in their respective divisions. However, I'm here to give my power rankings of what I think the teams are going to do going forward. This doesn't affect how you are in the standings, just where I believe that your team is after a certain week throughout the season. So you'll have these weekly videos and we can all kind of recap this past week. Coming in at number 10 this week, he has made some adjustments. We even had a trade earlier today. Austin Rexroad. The reason I have him at number 10 is because he's a little weak at the running back department, minus the Saquon Barkley trade that just happened. He is very dependent on Saquon right now. Obviously, he has a ton of upside, being a former Rookie of the Year. But that being his main driving force of his offense, we'll see how that works out for him. However, I do think that he won that trade going forward. So other than that, I just think he's a little wide receiver dependent at the wide receiver. But overall, I think he made a really good trade this week. At number 9, I have Ryan Taylor. He had a below average week, but the only reason that I have him at number 9 instead of number 8, no waiver moves this week. I guess he feels pretty confident in the team that he has had so far. However, we have seen in years past that the amount of waiver moves that you make directly correlates to the success in the league. So we'll see if his team can pick it up. Or if he'll have another below average week. Number 8, myself. Had another below average week. Gronkowski didn't end up getting targeted at all, so probably going to end up benched this week. But definitely made a ton of really good moves at the waiver wire, so I am confident as to how we will perform this coming week. Number 7, our first winner of the week, but remaining at number 7, Dylan Murphy. Really, really weak at the running back position. If David Johnson can continue to produce at that level, great. I just don't see it happening personally. And you just traded away your best running back for a quarterback. However, Mahomes is going to be probably top 10 in points every week. Becomes a Mahomes-dependent team at that point. So if Mahomes has an average week, your team's going to be below average. Coming in at number 6, Michael Holmes. Arguably one of the better teams on paper, but we did not see that team perform very well last week. Really good pieces on there, except I'm starting to doubt Dallas's offense ability minus Ezekiel Elliott. And who knows with OBJ at this point. So I've got you at number 6 right now, but definitely could flip-flop Holmes or Coach Wilcher at number 5. The reason Coach Wilcher is number 5, the Michael Thomas injury is going to certainly impact the points in the coming weeks. So that leaves his receiver game a little bit questionable. But we saw how good Cam Newton was in this past week, so he might see a spot start. but Stafford's also been slinging the ball. So we'll see where Dan ends up next week. Coming in the top 4, Noah Jones. A solid lineup. The only thing that I have a question about is Mark Ingram's touches towards the end zone. We saw that Dobbins ended up getting a lot of those carries. So Mark Ingram didn't see the end zone. And depth in that lineup going forward, a little bit questionable once we start getting into bye weeks. But as of right now, we'll end up scoring 120 points easy in the coming weeks. He's sitting at number 4. Number 3, an overall solid squad, Parker Lutz. The only question I had about this lineup was Adam Thielen going forward. I mean, he had a monstrous week 1. But in order for Parker to continue to have success, Thielen is going to have to keep that pace up for him. With Stephon Diggs now in Buffalo, that could be a possibility because who else is Kirk Cousins going to end up throwing to? And at number 2, honestly, both of these guys could be at number 1 with how their teams performed last week. It just so happened that they ended up playing each other. And because Dragon ended up losing that game, I'm going to have to put Dragon at number 2. It was an insane loss. Great team. Very few holes. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey's an animal. If you have him on your team, you're going to find yourself in the top 5 of almost any league. But that leads me to number 1, Noah Casale. An extremely lethal squad in terms of points. Is going to be very hard to go up against, especially if all his guys stay healthy. And what an incredible week 1. Football's back, baby. Can't wait. And I can't wait to see what happens in week 2. Thank you guys. Have a great day.